Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. My name's Kathy. I want to talk today a little bit about one of the most common, prevalent, sneaky tricks that the ego plays to keep you disengaged, to keep you from being open to receiving love. And most likely, if you're listening to this, you're with me. We're all opening to receive and express more love, expressing and receiving. And, well, this is a tricky journey, okay? Well, first we woke up, we realized all this unconscious behavior. So that stage of awakening is like, I'm going to call it the oh my effing G phase, like seeing all the stuff you've been doing out of separation, ego, duality, whether it's to get things, manipulation, or power, control, trying to control things. So we wake up and we see all this stuff and it's like, oh my God, let's call it the embarrassment phase, or you could say the self-judgment phase. And that's what I want to talk about. So I was talking to somebody the other day and they were talking about posting pictures on Facebook and that, like, they like the interaction. And with that, though, was an underlying sense of judgment. Like, well, I like getting the attention from other people. I like that interaction, as though we shouldn't want that. And so it's kind of funny because we know as creator, as source, as creator, as a facet of all that is, I am that I am, you technically don't need anything. And we wake up and realize that all of our actions and behaviors, you look back through your life and you go, holy crap, everything I did was of survival. It was all to build an egoic identity. All this to be a better person, whether it was making more money, to look better, to be a do-gooder, to save the planet, all this stuff was all based in judgment and a misunderstanding of who I am, thinking that I'm this human and this is the world, and not having that universal perspective of what Earth really is and what duality is and who we really are, so far beyond any sense of duality, judgment, and so forth. So what do we do then when we wake up and we see all this behavior? So here's the trap. The ego tends to turn around and twist and judge everything, every step of the way. So you wake up, you recognize these identities, these identifications with the physical and all these personality constructs you've created, all these masks you've worn for various reasons. And as you transcend each one of those things, we go through how many levels, layers, changes, shifts, evolutions on this journey. It's, seemingly endless, right? Although it's kind of not in the human form. But we go through all this, and then every step of the way, you have a new, broader perspective, and you look back and sort of judge the old one a little bit, like, oh my God, I was doing that. Or maybe looking at other people then that are still acting in that old unconscious way, going, oh my God, they're acting unconscious, and of course you've done it too. But so the ego likes to turn things around every step of the way, twisting, turning, contorting, like the most amazing chameleon, right? And becoming whatever it can to get its little hooks in you and keep you small, keep you separate from love, which is actually keeping you separate from yourself as creator, as love, as all that is, as the universe, and from other people and from things in the world, which is another way of expressing or receiving love, with people or nature, animals, whatever. So it's good to, we'll say, befriend the ego, get to know it really, really good, pay attention, no battles, no fighting, no judgment, because, That's the whole point, is to have that clarity. And in clarity, there's really no judgment. You just see how everything was created, why it was created. Clarity promotes compassion, joy, because you realize everything's cool. So this example, I just want to ask you for yourself, have you ever felt this? You want to maybe post something on Facebook or wherever your social media is, and your ego is like, oh, look at you. You just want people to like your post, It starts almost badgering you that you are the one being egoic, okay? Kind of funny, like the pot calling the kettle black, right? Or perhaps you're somebody who likes to go on Facebook and make comments. And the ego is like, oh, look at you, there you go, pushing your opinion on people, trying to save the world or whatever. Whatever that may be, just be aware of where that might happen in your life, okay? Maybe it's with calling people, with making plans, with this, with that, with the other thing. So what happens is we become aware of this. So, of course, there was and has been an egoic tendency to do these things for everyone. If you resonate with any of this at all, take a breath and just feel the relief in knowing that every single person has experienced this. Everyone who has been in a human body has had, let's say, neediness, wanting attention from others, wanting approval, wanting to be loved, wanting to be liked, that neediness, that wanting, that lack mentality. Or on the other side, there's that push mentality, like trying to control, I'm right. Oh, let's go into a spiritual group and correct everybody and school them and show them how much better I am than they are. I mean, that's all ego, right? And chances are you've done a little bit of all of that. Maybe trying to save someone, trying to help them. They don't want your help and you're giving them advice, even though they're like, dude, I don't want it, I'm good. All right, we've all done it. And if you're saying I haven't, you might want to check with that honesty, because honesty is the first critical ingredient in all of this, self-honesty. You don't have to tell other people, but be honest with yourself. And so we've all done it. And let's not even feel bad or guilty or shameful or embarrassed about it, because every human has done it. It's part of the experience. It's part of the Earth amusement park, okay? When you picked up a body, you basically agreed to go through all that stuff and to act in all those unconscious ways. So it's normal. So let's just celebrate that. Celebrate all the weird stuff we've done. From there, so this little egoic structure is going to do this. What is it doing? Every step of the way, it's going to try to keep you small, to keep you to itself, to keep you from opening your heart, from loving yourself, from accepting yourself. So this one that's like, oh, you're doing this. It's like, actually, you created that. I'm just the one here now as awareness, unwinding this, right? And it also tries to keep you separate from other people, or from, we'll say, expressing yourself in the world, whether it's one-on-one with friends, family, or it's just, something you want to create in the world. It's going to try to keep you small. Totally, its job, basically. Keep you safe, keep you protected. So, what do? It's so easy. It couldn't be easier. First of all, acknowledge that it's normal. Laugh about it. Whatever. Who cares? It's fine. It's good. It's supposed to be that way. And then when these things come up, it's like, oh, why are you posting this picture? Are you hoping to get likes? What you do is you look at it and you go, yeah, why are you posting this? Or if you feel yourself, we'll say, doing things and you feel an oddness, a charge, a pull, a push or pull, like I was describing. If you feel needy, stop and just ask, yeah, why are we doing this? You might get an answer. What am I trying to achieve? What is the feeling that I desire? if you've ever watched Lucifer, you know how he's got that superpower and he says, tell me what it is you desire. It's the same thing. What is it you desire? Not in a mean way, like not in a, condescending way, like shame on you. It's just, yeah, why do you want to do this? Okay. And it might be like the interaction, the, stuff like that. And the ego is going to take it and twist it and judge it to be something wrong with you. But then you just acknowledge it. Okay, great. All right then, thanks. That's it. It doesn't take anything else. In fact, anything more than that, quite often, most of the time, is counterproductive because there's nothing to fix. Nothing's broken. This is part of the human journey. Now you're just aware of it. And as you're not judging it and trying to change it, you're just going, oh, alrighty then. You're aware of it. And in the light of your awareness, in that illumination of your consciousness without judgment and without control, it just starts to dissolve all on its own. The energy just unwinds back to its natural state because you had forced it into this aspect, this identity, this construct, right? When you were not so aware and you're just like going through the motions that, from the time you were younger, just kind of going through that conditioning. But now you're just like, oh, that's what that is. Doesn't take anything else. The key is not to let it stop you. You say, okay, and go post your picture. Enjoy the comments. Laugh with people. Have fun. This has tripped me up many times. Personally, I will say even the work I do today, 5-6 years ago, I started my website and then I stopped because, and I had this in all areas of life where it was like almost everything I did, I started becoming aware, like, oh, there's this identity. I was a manager and a teacher and a parent. And so being a facilitator, I was like, well, there's an old identity construct there and I don't want to feed it, I want to make sure that I'm not doing that. And like an old identity of, being a helper and wanting to help and fixer. I was a fixer and a solver and, giving people advice they didn't really want. And I was like, I got to make sure I am 100% clear on all that before I do any of this. But the truth is, it was not necessary to avoid doing those things. The best way to actually integrate it all is to do it, to keep doing the things and to be aware, to do it with total awareness, presence, and no judgment. And so whether it's, this is great advice for like addiction kind of stuff, maybe it's food or television. Doesn't mean you try to fight with yourself in battle because the ego is going to be like, what are you doing? You're, I don't know, having some more potato chips. That'd be my ego. And you're just like, alrighty then, got it. And then, you might ask yourself, well, why do I eat potato chips? Why do I feel like I need a snack? I know I'm not hungry right now. What is it? What is it that I'm seeking? Okay. Maybe you get an answer, maybe you don't. Maybe, maybe you just become aware of that every day for like a week and then, one day all of a sudden, poof, oh, that's what that is. You get a memory of, but there's no analysis. Notice there's zero analysis in this. There's nothing you're trying to figure out. It's in that present moment. You're just, oh, there you are. Oh, okay. What is it you want? What are we doing this for? Okay. You might even ask the ego once in a while, like, what do you want from me? And you might get an answer, you might not. You're not processing. You're not like, let me think about this. Let me really think about this. Now, on occasion, it serves to sit down and contemplate something and think about it. That does at times serve, but I'm just going to say 98, 99% of the time, if you can just stay in awareness, okay, alrighty then, yeah, what is this? Show me more. And then carry on. It becomes very fluid in awareness, no work, no big analysis, no big problem to solve, no battles, no upset. Oh, this is totally normal. All right, great. And then the fluidity is really about you continuing to do the things that you enjoy, that you're called to, that you're drawn to. And yeah, some of that stuff that you're drawn to might be from old egoic conditioning, old patterns, old habits, things that your body is addicted to, ancestral patterns, blah, 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 whatever. It doesn't really matter. You can allow yourself to keep flowing, keep doing the things, and just stay in awareness and don't judge it. Got it. Okay, got it. And of course, at times asking that question, what is it you desire? Why do you like doing this? The funny thing when you ask, why do you like doing this? Or, what are you seeking out of this? Or why do I do this? The coolest thing is with some stuff, like you might realize how it has been such a benefit. And here the ego is just judging away. So like, potato chips, they're salty, they're crunchy. It's a pleasure. It stimulates your pleasure center, and it's pleasurable. So what? Who said you should only eat when you're hungry anyway? Can you just do things for pleasure? Well, maybe eventually as you notice that more and more, you'll go, well, show me some other things I can do for pleasure. That's one thing I'll say if I'm doing the same things over and over to achieve a certain feeling or sense within myself. It's like, well, show me what else, and it might just be breathing. You might all of a sudden go, oh, I can get this pleasure center going by breathing, or going into your body and saying, light up, pleasure center, light up, activate. Show me body, how you can light up the pleasure center yourself. So it goes into a lot of different directions, but the biggest thing here is this trick that gets you to shut down. When you do shut down, if you fall into that trap, you become very disconnected from life. Disconnected from life is being disconnected from yourself, essentially. I mean, you can never be totally disconnected from yourself, but it's almost like just having a tiny little string of connection left is what it feels like, rather than feeling the richness and the fullness of life in all of its glory. Sometimes that's joy and laughter. Sometimes it's fear or discomfort. It's like embracing that, the richness of the sensuality of life. And that's what we came here to do, because your true form is not physical. You can't feel anything. So you came here to really feel stuff. And, through this whole transformation of kind of unraveling all that egoic, we'll say invented self, it starts to judge everything to keep itself alive. So let's not judge, the feeling of neediness, the feeling of, if you feel like you have to control somebody, take a breath. Maybe you will, in that present awareness, maybe you won't do it, but maybe you'll watch the words come out of your mouth, and as they're leaving your mouth, you'll realize, oh my gosh, I'm trying to control somebody. But in that moment, you are dissolving that energy, and you just don't judge yourself. If you judge the emotions, the actions, if you judge the emotions, the energies, I used this neediness as an example, neediness, loneliness, or control, or the actions, you're essentially identifying with form. Actions are actions, emotions are emotions. They don't belong to you, truly. At one point we adopted them, we thought we were them, they were part of us, but they belong to the whole earth experience, earth energies, and you are a universal being. You are creator, just having this experience. So you're like this, and the human experience is like that. And when you say, oh, this, I shouldn't do that, you're actually identifying as though that is like a part of you. So don't take the weight of the world on your shoulders. The whole history of Earth, it's like you didn't even start that. You inherited it when you came into this body, and most of those things are already predetermined. those behaviors. They were the gifts given to you from your ancestors. And so there's nothing wrong with the gifts, but let's not identify with them. So what ways have you been maybe holding back a little bit? Oh my God, is this my ego? You know, if I start this business, if I reach out to this person, if I do this expression in the world, art, dance, music, is it egoic of me? Am I, whatever? Am I running away if I go off and spend a day in nature? Well, just be aware of why you're doing it, Be aware of everything all the time. There are times when we do need to contemplate, journal, but it's all just about awareness. It's not about processing. And I remember when I had that shift of like, I used to leave myself notes. I had notes everywhere for many, 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 many years. So I'd wake up every day and be like, oh yeah. And but one was I would leave these notes everywhere. There's nothing to figure out. Just be aware. I was like, oh yeah, because I'd wake up in the morning and the mind would be sort of in that pattern of like life's a problem to solve, like this earth thing and all these levels. It's like it's like a puzzle to get to the end and transcend karma or something. So I would leave myself notes. There's nothing to figure out. Just stay aware. Just pay attention. Be aware right here, right now. Feel your presence. And that's really the key. And really, don't judge anything. So have you judged yourself lately? I always get this feeling when I ask this question. It's like I'm feeling everybody like, oh yeah, maybe a little bit. Have you been hard on yourself? Have you doubted yourself? Have you held yourself back? Take a breath and just let go of the judgment. Just fully accept yourself right here, right now, because you're in a human body, okay? So everything you've done is more than enough. You're celebrated just for coming here in the first place. If you never did one thing, it's a win. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here in human form with me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste.